First of all, you can say that in many senses you've got a world food system organized globally, and in this sense, with lots of power under the large transnational corporations, and they are able to do sort of private regulation of what we produce, how we produce, distribute and consume food. And this means that the food system has been able to produce lots of food, cheap food, but bad food, in terms of the diet, the quality, the variety, etc. And secondly, the way, especially in the agricultural side of the world food system, this system has been pushing a kind of agriculture model based on monoculture, chemicals, technification, etc., that compromise biodiversity, that affects the environment, and also has lots of social implications. So I would say that we are in a moment, in a very important moment, where many food crises that we've been seeing once in a while, and also some trends in terms of obesity and overweight, together with the poor diet that we've been having, I mean that this is more or less, reflects more or less the main problems of the food system nowadays. I think that civil society has a crucial role to play in relation to food, and it's already been played, this role, either globally and also in many countries, like in my own country, in Brazil. Civil society has at least one or two main roles. The first one is criticizing some of the trends of the food system that I have already mentioned, and making alternative proposals in terms of how to organize the food production and consumption. And secondly is to act in terms of social mobilization and social organization. I'm thinking mainly in the organization of small farmers, peasants, fisher folks, etc., but also of the organization of consumers, etc. This is a role that only the civil society organization can do. And third, there is also a role to play in terms of public policies. The social participation in public policies is to my point of view, is crucial in terms of food policies. I mean, we have to forget this old style of doing public policy in a sort of authoritarian way, centralized way, technocratic way, in order to have civil society engaged in the very formulation, in the very making of public policies and in their monitoring. So I see the civil society playing these three important roles in terms of food. It's also crucial. I used to take the academic as part of this civil society. I don't like to think of, let's say, the university as a separate world, even though I know, being academic myself, I know that university used to be a bit closer to the society. I don't think this is the best way of doing things. We have lots of needs in terms of knowledge and producing knowledge. This is for sure an academic responsibility, but the academia must recognize that there are different ways of producing knowledge. So we have a role to play in the production of knowledge, in doing research, but we have to do this by recognizing that you've got knowledge coming from social movement, coming from social groups, etc. to take an example, farmers and peasants, they got lots of knowledge of how to deal with seeds, with biodiversity, etc. This is knowledge. Perhaps knowledge that is more the traditional knowledge that is not organized in an academic way. I'm sure that we have to put some reflection, some on this so-called traditional knowledge, but they are there. And also, the way we formulate our research questions is quite important in order to think two things. First, it's our role to have to push this sort of critical view of what's going on. We are able to. We have also the role of teaching people. The teaching is one of our duties, and we should do it in a way of giving people consciousness about what's going on in food and the main critical aspects that are related to, and also the possibilities. And finally, the relation with governments. Academics are very often called to help governments to participate or getting engaged in public policies. And this is important. But as I said, I don't think that we have to have a sort of special role as experts. For sure, I recognize that we are experts in some topics, but we are not we don't have the monopoly of this. So my view of the academic work is a sort of sharing what we've been able to produce with other social segments, with other social sectors, and in the dialogue with government in order to help having better policies, but mainly participatory policies. This is, to my view, this is an important contribution. In Brazil, in our experience, what we've been doing is putting academics together with civil society organizations in order to discuss public policy. It's not as a separate body, but being part of the debate. And this is, to my view, the role that we should play as academics.